This is the Extreme Arm Wrestling Machine by Ultimate Arm Wrestling. It is a spectacular piece of equipment, one that you really have to experience to know just how wonderful it is and how it will revolutionize your arm wrestling training. I'll show you how to use it in just 1 second, but first I want to just take a moment to point out some of the great features. For starters, it is made of all steel. It weighs more than 140 pounds, and that's without any weights on it whatsoever. For starters, this machine can convert into an arm wrestling table, an extreme eliminator arm wrestling table. To do so, to convert it, all you have to do is remove this cam and this mechanical arm, and then of course remove the steel poles down here and the pulley that the weight's attached to, and voila, insert an arm wrestling pad right where this cam is, and you've got yourself an arm wrestling table. It's 2-in-1 convenience. You've got some great features as well, such as all along here, this is padded with great high-density foam. So is this side right here. So whether you're arm wrestling on the machine or you're arm wrestling a friend, you've got padding so that your hips are not digging into the metal frame. The pads themselves are fully adjustable. They can be straight on as they're set up right now. You can just as easily take the lug nuts off the bottom and move them to the right so that it's set up for right-handed matches, offset, or left-handed matches, offset. Not only the elbow pads, but also the pin pads themselves. Now let me just show you really quickly how to use the Extreme Arm Wrestling Machine. I've already added some weights here. There are 105 pounds on there right now. To arm wrestle, all I do is it's set up to start the mechanical arm to start in a neutral position. I'm going to take hold of the mechanical hand, which is this silver piece of metal here that's knurled so that you don't slip with grip, and I'm just going to arm wrestle. I'm going to move that out of the way. One great thing you can do when you're actually arm wrestling, or when you're just using the machine to train, is increase your range of motion. As you might have been able to see there and might not because of the camera angle, when I brought the mechanical arm down, I brought it to the pin pad. But if I want to extend my range of motion to the tabletop, all I have to do is remove this pin pad. Now I've already removed the lug nuts on the bottom, so all I have to do is lift it up and move it out of the way, and now I have a greater range of motion, and I'll show you. Whereas before I could only take it down to the pin pad, now I can take it all the way to the table surface. Sorry I'm straining there a little bit. That is the Extreme Arm Wrestling Machine. Perhaps one of the best ways to practice on the Extreme Arm Wrestling Machine is to remove a pad so that you increase your range of motion. This pin pad, if I'm arm wrestling in a normal manner, and I start at 45 degrees down, and I rotate over to win, I'm a little bit more than 45 degrees off the table from this side now. But by removing this pad, which you can do with loosening the lug nut underneath and taking the pad off, now you can go all the way down to the tabletop, the all-steel tabletop, and increase your range of motion. I'll show you like this. I'm starting out in a losing position. I am literally 1.5 inches off the pad, and I'm going to rotate all the way over and bring it down. The most important feature of the Extreme Arm Wrestling Machine is the cam right here. As you can see, there are 5 holes. These 5 holes adjust the position, the starting position of the mechanical arm right here that you arm wrestle with. Currently it's set in a neutral position in the middle, but if you want to arm wrestle left-handed in a losing position, you'd set it to the 5th hole here. And if you wanted to arm wrestle starting from a losing position right-handed, you'd move it to right here. As I said before, I'll move the arm out of the way. The pads come off. They also fix down with lug nuts underneath, but I've taken them off. And you can see that you can have a straight on, the pads set straight on, left-handed or right-handed. As well, you can set the pin pads to be straight on, right-handed, or left-handed. Another great feature of the Extreme Arm Wrestling Machine is the fact that the lever arm is completely customizable. Let me show you what I mean. For terminology purposes, I call this piece, metal piece, the bicep, this joint, the elbow, this joint, this metal piece, the forearm, and this joint right here, I call the wrist. And then here's the mechanical hand. Let's say that you want to arm wrestle and you want to be practicing outside moves. Outside moves typically require that you be toward the back of your pad. So maybe you want to extend the length of this lever arm so that you can practice that. Well, simply adjust the bicep by pulling up this pin right here, sliding the bicep out, the bicep metal piece out, and then reinserting the pin. You've just lengthened the bicep and made it so that you can practice outside moves on the table. Let's say that you're a taller guy and this forearm piece is not hitting you high enough when you go back to grab it. No problem. Simply, again, pull the pin, except this time on the forearm, slide the forearm piece up to the desired height, and reinsert the pin. You've now just lengthened the forearm piece so that it fits your arm. And then the last and probably best feature, customizable feature of the lever arm, is that the wrist pivots wherever you want it to be. If you're doing a posting top roll, you're probably going to have it pretty flat. If you're doing a different type top roll, or you're doing a press or whatever else, maybe you want to move your wrist in a different direction. By allowing you to put your wrist at whatever angle you want rather than a fixed angle, it decreases the discomfort on your wrist and allows you to practice whatever move you want. Another great thing about the Extreme Arm Wrestling machine is that the starting angle of the mechanical arm can be set to 5 different settings. I'll move the mechanical arm out of the way so that you can see. You're looking at the cam of the arm wrestling machine, and there are 5 holes. These 5 holes allow you to start the arm at 5 different positions. If you want to start in a neutral position, you put it in the middle hole. If you're right-handed and you want to practice from a losing position, simply rotate the arm 45 degrees and reinsert the pin into the 5th hole, the hole at the far right. Now you're starting in a losing position when you arm wrestle, and it increases your range of motion. You can also do the same thing with the left arm by again pulling the pin, rotating it all the way over, and putting it in on this side. It also slides on 2 metal rails, as you can see, and the machine is smooth as can be. You can load literally a couple of hundred or more pounds on there. I've got 115 on there right now, and it is quite a strain. But you could easily add 250, 300 pounds to it. I'll leave you with just one final demonstration of how to use the Extreme Arm Wrestling machine. From a straight up position, from a losing position, I'll increase the range of motion. I'll practice the finish of my press. That's the Extreme Arm Wrestling machine.